The film The Mask was released in theaters in July 1994. From that summer release date until the end of 2025, exactly 31 years have passed. In 1994, the world relied on physical media, analog technology, and local video rental stores for entertainment. Today, in 2026, the global landscape is defined by digital streaming, high-speed internet, and a vastly different landscape for cinematic visual effects. Back then, many viewers experienced the story on VHS tapes or saw it in crowded movie theaters without the influence of modern social media. The film tells the story of a timid bank clerk who finds an ancient wooden mask that transforms him into a wild, green-faced trickster with supernatural powers. This movie became a massive box office success and changed the career paths of its leading actors forever. Looking back at the footage now reminds us of a specific era in 90s filmmaking and pop culture. It was a time of transition between traditional physical comedy and the early stages of advanced computer-generated imagery. In this documentary, we revisit the cast and see where they are today in 2026. We will look at their lives, their professional milestones, and their enduring impact on the film industry over the last 3 decades. Jim Carrey was born on January 17, 1962, in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, and he was 32 years old when The Mask was released in 1994. In the film, he plays the lead role of Stanley Ipkiss, a mild-mannered and unlucky bank employee who discovers a magical mask that gives him the ability to manifest his inner desires through cartoon-like physics. This character is the central focus of the story, serving as both the shy protagonist and the energetic, green-faced chaotic hero. To prepare for the role, Carrey drew inspiration from his own father and used his rubbery facial expressions to reduce the need for expensive digital effects in several scenes. One documented behind-the-scenes fact is that the filmmakers originally planned for the mask to be an animatronic piece, but Carrey's facial flexibility was so great that they relied more on his natural movements. Before this breakout year, Carrey was known primarily as a cast member on the sketch comedy show In Living Color, and for his role in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. After The Mask, his career reached incredible heights with hits like Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar, and more serious roles in The Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He faced personal struggles including public battles with depression and several high-profile relationship breakups that were widely covered in the media. Throughout his career, he has won 2 Golden Globe Awards and received numerous nominations for his versatile acting work. In his personal life, he has become known for his interest in painting and political artistry in recent years. Now at 64 years old in 2026, he has largely stepped back from major acting roles, often speaking about his desire for a quiet life. His performance remains iconic today because it combined physical comedy with new technology in a way that defined a decade of entertainment. Cameron Diaz was born on August 30, 1972, in San Diego, California, and she was 21 years old when the film made its debut. She plays Tina Carlyle, a lounge singer and the girlfriend of a mobster who becomes the romantic interest for Stanley Ipkiss. The character functions as the classic blonde bombshell who eventually shows a kind heart and helps the protagonist find his confidence. Diaz had no prior professional acting experience before being cast and was working as a fashion model at the time of her audition. A real behind-the-scenes fact is that she had to audition 12 times before the producers finally gave her the role just days before filming began. Before this film, she had traveled the world modeling for major brands but was completely unknown to movie audiences. After the massive success of The Mask, she became one of the biggest stars in Hollywood with roles in There and Apples, Something About Mary, Charlie and Apples, Angels, and the Shrek franchise. She eventually decided to retire from acting in 2014 to focus on her family and her health-conscious wine business. Diaz has been nominated for 4 Golden Globe Awards and has won several other industry honors during her active years. She married musician Benji Madden in 2015 and the couple has 2 children together, keeping their private life mostly out of the spotlight. In 2026, at the age of 53, she has recently made a brief return to the screen while continuing her work as an author and entrepreneur. Her role in this film still matters today because it served as one of the most successful cinematic debuts for a leading lady in modern history. Peter Riegert was born on April 11, 1947, in New York City, and he was 47 years old when he appeared in this movie. He portrays Lieutenant Mitch Kellaway, a cynical and weary police detective who is determined to catch the mask and put an end to the chaos in Edge City. His character serves as the primary law enforcement antagonist who provides a grounded, serious foil to the wild antics of the green-faced trickster. Riegert was cast because of his ability to play a straight man with a dry sense of humor, which helped balance the film and Oppo's tone. A documented fact from the production is that Riegert often had to maintain a serious face while Jim Carrey was improvising wildly, which was a difficult task on set. Before The Mask, he was already a respected actor known for his roles in Animal House and Local Hero, as well as extensive work on Broadway. After the film, he continued to work steadily in both television and film, appearing in projects like The Sopranos, The Good Wife, and Disconnected. He has not sought the same level of blockbuster fame as his co-stars but has maintained a very consistent and respected career. He has focused much of his later life on directing and writing, including the film King of the Corner. He remains a private individual who rarely discusses his personal life in the media. Now 78 years old in 2026, he is considered a veteran of the industry with a career spanning over 5 decades. His role matters today because his performance provided the necessary tension and reality that made the supernatural elements of the film work so well. Peter Green was born on October 8, 1965, in Montclair, New Jersey, and he was 28 years old during the production of The Mask. He plays Dorian Tyrell, a ruthless mob lieutenant who wants to overthrow his boss and eventually steals the mask to use its power for evil. As the main villain, his character is dangerous, ambitious, and represents the dark side of the mask and Oppo's transformative abilities. Green was often cast in tough guy or villainous roles due to his intense screen presence and sharp features. One interesting fact is that Green filmed his role in The Mask around the same time he was working on his other famous 1994 role in Pulp Fiction. Before this film, he had appeared in several independent projects and was just starting to gain recognition in Hollywood. After 1994, he appeared in films like Under Siege 2 and Blue Streak, but his career was sometimes hindered by personal struggles with substance abuse. He has remained open about these challenges and has continued to work in various independent films and television guest spots over the years. Despite his struggles, he has earned a cult following for his memorable portrayals of antagonists. He has kept his personal life very private and is rarely seen at major Hollywood events. In 2026, at the age of 60, he continues to act in smaller projects and attends fan conventions. His role is still significant today because he created a formidable and menacing villain that gave the story a real sense of stakes. Amy Yasbeck was born on September 12, 1962, in Blue Ash, Ohio, and she was 31 years old when the film was released. She plays Peggy Brandt, a newspaper reporter who initially befriends Stanley Ipkiss but later betrays him to the mob for a cash reward. Her character serves as a secondary antagonist and highlights the theme of how greed can influence people's choices. Yasbeck was already a familiar face to audiences before this film, having starred in the Problem Child movies and the sitcom Wings. A real behind-the-scenes fact is that her character was originally supposed to be killed off in the film, but the scene was cut to keep the movie more family-friendly. Before the film, she had established herself as a reliable comedic actress on television and in film. After The Mask, she continued her work on Wings and appeared in various television movies and guest roles. She was married to actor John Ritter until his sudden death in 2003, and she later wrote a book about their life together and his medical condition. She has spent much of her time advocating for the John Ritter Foundation to raise awareness about aortic dissection. In recent years, she has made fewer acting appearances, focusing more on her family and charitable work. Now 63 years old in 2026, she remains a well-liked figure in the industry. Her role remains relevant today as a classic example of the femme fatale and character archetype found in 90s action comedies. Richard Jeni was born on April 14, 1957, in Brooklyn, New York, and he was 37 years old when he played the role of Charlie Shoemaker. Charlie is Stanley's best friend and coworker at the bank, a character who is girl-crazy, optimistic, and often tries to get Stanley to be more outgoing. He serves as the loyal sidekick who provides additional comedic relief and supports the protagonist throughout the story. Jeni was a very successful stand-up comedian before being cast, known for his high-energy specials on HBO and appearances on The Tonight Show. One documented fact is that Jeni and Jim Carrey were real-life friends in the comedy circuit, which helped their natural chemistry on screen. Before the film, his career was centered almost entirely on his stand-up comedy, where he was considered one of the best in the business. After The Mask, he continued to tour as a comedian and appeared in several other films and television shows, including his own short-lived sitcom. He struggled with severe clinical depression and physical health issues for several years. Sadly, Jeni passed away in 2007 at the age of 49 due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound during a period of mental health crisis. His death was a major loss to the comedy community, and was widely mourned by his peers. Even in 2026, his role still matters because he represented the heart of the film and Apo's friendship and reminded audiences of his immense comedic talent. Orestes Matessina was born on August 29, 1941, in Havana, Cuba, and he was 52 years old when The Mask was released. He plays Nico, the powerful and wealthy crime boss of Edge City who Dorian Tyrell is trying to overthrow. His character functions as the traditional underworld figure whose authority is challenged by the chaos of The Mask. Matessina was cast because of his commanding presence and his background as a character actor in various international and domestic productions. A documented behind-the-scenes fact is that he is also an accomplished writer and director outside of his acting work. Before this film, he had worked in theater and appeared in several films, often playing authoritative or villainous figures. After The Mask, he continued to act in films like Girl 6 and took on various roles in independent cinema and television. He has received awards for his work in the independent film circuit, particularly as a filmmaker. In his personal life, he has remained dedicated to his craft and has been involved in many aspects of the creative process. In 2026, at the age of 84, he is largely retired from the screen, but his legacy as a versatile character actor remains. His role in this film is still important today because he provided the initial threat that set the entire plot in motion. Ben Stein was born on November 25, 1944, in Washington, D.C., and he was 49 years old when he appeared in the film. He plays Dr. Arthur Newman, an expert on masks and mythology who Stanley visits to learn more about the strange object he found. His character functions as the expert who provides exposition about the mask and Apo's origins, though he initially does not believe Stanley's claims. Stein was famous for his monotone voice and deadpan delivery, which he used to great effect in this brief but memorable role. A real fact from the production is that his character's book, The Mask We Wear, was a prop specifically created to add depth to the movie's lore. Before the film, Stein had a varied career as a lawyer, White House speechwriter, and actor, most notably in Ferris Bueller and Apo's Day Off. After The Mask, he became even more famous as the host of the game show When Ben Stein and Apo's Money and a commentator on political and economic issues. He has written many books and continued to appear in films and commercials throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. He has been married to Alexandra Denman since 1968, and they have one son. Now 81 years old in 2026, he is primarily retired from acting but remains an active commentator on current events. His role remains a fan favorite today because it added a layer of mystery and academic humor to the superhero story. Reggie Cathy was born on August 18, 1958, in Huntsville, Alabama, and he was 35 years old when he appeared as Freeze. Freeze is one of Dorian Tyrell's loyal henchmen who assists in the attempted takeover of the city's criminal underworld. The character serves as part of the muscle for the villainous group and participates in several of the film's action sequences. Cathy was known for his deep, resonant voice and strong acting abilities, which made him a standout even in smaller roles. A documented behind-the-scenes fact is that Cathy often worked in Shakespearean theater, which gave him a disciplined approach to even his more commercial film roles. Before The Mask, he had worked on various television shows like Square One TV and had several small film credits. After the film, his career grew significantly as he took on major roles in critically acclaimed series like The Wire and House of Cards. He won a Primetime Emmy Award for his guest role in House of Cards, and was highly respected by his fellow actors. Cathy died in 2018 at the age of 59 from lung cancer, which was a significant loss to the acting world. In 2026, he is remembered as a versatile performer who could bring gravitas to any role he played. His presence in this film is a reminder of the high-quality actors that filled out the supporting cast. Jim Doohan was born on August 2, 1959, in the United States, and he was 34 years old when he played the role of Detective Doyle. Doyle is the bumbling and often confused partner of Lieutenant Kellaway, serving as a comedic contrast to the lieutenant and Apo's serious nature. His character helps illustrate the frustration the police feel while trying to track down the elusive Mask. Doohan was cast because of his comedic timing and his ability to play a sympathetic, if slightly incompetent, officer. A real fact is that he is one of the few actors to appear in both the original film and its 2005 sequel, Son of the Mask, playing the same character. Before this film, he had worked in various comedy troupes and had small roles in television shows. After The Mask, he appeared in films like Stuart Little and worked as a teacher and director in performing arts schools. He has focused much of his later career on education and helping young actors develop their skills. He has stayed out of the celebrity spotlight, preferring a more quiet life dedicated to teaching and local theater. In 2026, at the age of 66, he is still active in the arts education community. His role remains memorable today as a classic example of the "buddy cop" dynamic found in 90s cinema. Looking back at the 31 years since the release of The Mask, it is clear that time has moved the cast in many different directions. Some actors rose to the highest levels of global stardom, while others transitioned into quiet retirements or dedicated their lives to personal causes and education. The long-term journeys of these individuals reflect the natural shifts of a long career in the entertainment industry. We also remember those cast members who have passed away, acknowledging their lasting contributions to this story. Today, the film remains relevant because of its unique blend of physical comedy and early digital innovation. The cast lives in the memory of viewers because they brought a sense of fun and energy to a story that defined a specific moment in pop culture. We are grateful for the work they did to create this colorful world. Thank you for joining us on this look back at the people who brought these characters to life.